So you want the carved Greek god back, the Baki back, the devil eyes, the tree trunk. And it's something that I've wanted as well. It's a sign of strength. It's a sign of strength. And the big back makes you look more aesthetic because it's such a big part of the body. So I've been training on and off for like 5 years now. And I couldn't get a big back, and I thought I didn't have the genetics for it. I thought that my lats were too high, that I had a big waist, I couldn't get a V taper, and the stupid stuff like that. But now I do have a fairly decent back, I think. That is quite strong, and it's because I've switched up my mindset on lifting back. And this is what helped me get a bigger back, and that will help you achieve one as well. First thing is change your mentality. I wasn't training to failure when doing back. It's an interesting area of the body because it's so big, it has a lot of muscles. And when you're doing big compound lifts on back, you're scared of the muscle aches. And when it would ache a lot, it would ache in all the back muscles. Then you would just quit. I also wasn't going heavy enough. Like, your back is actually hella strong. You can go quite heavy with it. And I had to realize that, okay, if you want your back to grow, you have to take it seriously. You have to really focus on the movements. And when it starts to hurt, bust out some more reps, really go to failure on it. And that's what helped me as well, changing that mentality. So first changing it internally and then expressing that externally throughout the workouts. So then when we're going to the physical part is first the anatomy of the back. What do we got when looking at a back? We got the rear delts. I've talked about these in another shoulder video, so I'm not going to talk about it here, but it's definitely important, the rear delts. You can look up some exercises on it. But yeah, if you're training back, rear delt is also, part of it is this, back part. You've got the traps, the rhomboids, the spinal erectors, and lats. So yeah, I want to focus on the lats, the traps, the rhomboids, and the spinal erectors. I focus on 3 to 4 back exercises in a workout, and I work out back twice a week for the optimal muscle growth. You could start off by doing once a week. But if you're already into that, gym flow, you could go twice a week. So before training, you want to warm up your back by stretching. It's a big muscle. You really want to warm it up. Look up a video, 5 minutes stretching back, and you'll really thank me here because it will make you more flexible. And actually we will prevent injuries, and that is what we want. So yeah, on the first back day, I start off with a deadlift, and I do 1 warm-up set. And then I do 4 heavy sets of 5 reps. And I do deadlifts once a week. And I do these because deadlift, it just trains a lot of the back. It trains a lot of the muscles in the back, also the neck, traps, hamstrings. And you've heard people say that they skip a deadlift because, it doesn't really isolate the muscle, the back won't grow and stuff like that. Please just shut up. Like, why is it always for growth? And why isn't it just because we want to put our body under stress? We want to feel better, get our testosterone up. So yeah, I do these big compound lifts to really stimulate that back, really put it under a lot of stress. Just try doing heavy deadlifts for a month, doing 5 reps, really heavy. Try to like them, try to fall in love with the deadlift. I did. It's really fun to progress on it right now, and it just feels good when going that heavy. Yeah, you would feel pain, because it's a heavy weight, but after it you feel energized, you feel amazing, your mind is clear. It's like a meditation with crazy heavy weight. Then moving on, I do pull-ups on one day, and on the other day I do a lat pull down, and I do this for 4 sets from 5 to 10 reps. I switch up these exercises to really vary the workouts, not get bored by them as well. Sometimes I do the pull-ups weighted. I get a bag, I put a weight in it, and I do them weighted. Just by doing body weight, I can bust out like 15 to 20 reps. So if you can do that as well, you want to put in a weight, maybe get a dip belt. It trains the lats, very familiar muscle, and you will get that Dorito shape by doing a pull-up or doing a lat pull down. And this will really broaden your frame as well. After these, I would do a single arm chest supported row of 4 sets from 5 to 10 reps. And I do these twice a week. And yeah, these also train the lats, actually the traps as well, and the rhomboids. So it'll really get that definition going in the back. Yeah, you can vary these as well, these row movements. You can do them a bit of a wider grip. You can do a vertical grip, horizontal, wide, narrow. Back is it's a big muscle, and it doesn't need this specific exercise to really get it big. You just need to pull heavy shit and go to failure. That's really it. But these exercises help me to get a big back because it targets a lot of the muscles. After the single arm chest supported row, I will move on to the bent over barbell row, the bent over barbell row, or the 2-arm dumbbell row. I would do the barbell row on one day and I would do the dumbbell row on the other day. So we do 3 sets from 8 to 10 reps. And this trains the lats, the traps, the rhomboids, and the spinal erectors. And I want to give this exercise an applause. This is a wonderful exercise to get a big back, dense back. That's really what you want with this row exercises. Like, try to be in a 90 degree, like actually being parallel with the floor. When you're doing that, you really can try to isolate the back more. You really feel the pump more in your back than your, like a 45 degree angle. And a 90 degree angle, it works better, and you have to put in more work. When doing rows, you want to get it to your waist, not to your chest. Just look up some videos on how to do them. And you can also vary these. You can do a bit of a wider stance, narrow. Yeah, you could change it up, try to see what works best for you. What feels best as well is also very important. So I recommend you do barbell shrugs or dumbbell shrugs 1 to 2 times a week as well. So you can do barbell shrugs on one day and dumbbell shrugs on the other day, or you can do them once a week, whatever works best for you. Because when training back, you also really work the traps a lot as well. So you don't have to do it, but if you really want to grow them, you can implement this as well. Yeah, focus on doing 3 to 4 back exercises and actually going to failure, doing proper form, having a straight back, looking into the form, how you do them correctly. So I recommend you also watch videos when doing this. It's what I did. Just look up on the internet how to do a deadlift, how to do a pull-up, stuff like that, and you'll get there fairly quick. Yeah, switch it up as well, do variations of these exercises. And if you focus on these exercises and work the back twice a week, you'll notice improvements. If you're doing the back once a week, you'll notice improvements. It's all about breaking down the muscle fibers and actually going to failure and getting that proper rest in to make them grow. It's not all about the workout. It's actually more about the rest days, because the rest days is when you grow. So yeah, proper rest and a proper diet as well is what really gets that growth going. So after training back, you really want to get some good sleep in, get some good food in, high protein. It's a big muscle. It needs a lot of protein intake to supplement it, get it bigger. Another thing that's helped me a lot was tracking my lifts, and I've talked about this in another video, but I want to mention it here as well. I track my lifts on my notes pad on my phone. I have a table with the exercises, the sets and reps, and the max weight. This really helps me to do better than the last time, because you see where you've left off and you try to increase the weight by maybe 1.25 kgs, 2.5 kgs, or you try to do 1 more rep, 2 more reps. When it's a small improvement, it's still an improvement. So focus on that. And then another thing is the belt and straps. You see me using these belt and straps in videos a lot. And I really like a belt and straps when training back. And you hear people say, but it's cheating. But it's cheating. You don't need a belt and straps. You have weak grips. When I use straps and a belt, I feel that the back gets isolated a lot more. Because when you're not using straps with, for example, the chest supported row, you train the forearms more. You really get a forearm pump. And when you use the straps, you focus on the back more. You actually feel the back more. And it's not like your grip is giving out first. I also had this with deadlifts. I used to do these without a belt and straps. And I could do like max 140 kgs for 2 reps. And now I'm on 200 kgs. You actually notice how strong your back is compared to your grip you have. And then the most important part, we have to be consistent. So don't use these tips and do them for a week, 2 weeks. Really implement them slowly over a period of 6 to 12 months, maybe 3 to 6 months, and then look back at your progress. Because that's what it's all about, patience and consistency, and then you'll get there. So get that big bag by doing big lifts, doing proper lifts, getting a good diet in, good sleep, and trust me, you'll reach your goals.